Hey guys, it's Hell Hades. Is a series of videos on Clan Boss. What I want to do is take you through right from kind of early game Clan Boss up to end game Clan Boss and kind of talk you through the abilities you should be looking for on champions, give you some examples of how those champions should be built, and just kind of talk you through how to build a successful team comp. So Clan Boss is not about having one or two champions all doing the same thing. It's about having a variety of champions with different skills to maximize the damage that you can do. So there's a number of areas I want to focus on, and I'm going to focus initially on early game Clan Boss, and then in this video kind of walk right through to end game Clan Boss. And then what I'm going to do is have different videos spin off of this which focuses on particular skills and champions that fill those skill positions really well. So initially then, let's just have a look at, this is an early game, this is my free-to-play account, which is still pretty young. But yeah, let's just have a look at kind of how you'd build a team to deal with something like a normal or hard clan boss. And we're just going to sort of look at the different compositions that you need to be able to do this. So let's just have a look at people in this clan at the moment. And what they've got in play to kind of make us appreciate what different roles there are in Clan Boss. So I've done a video already around attack down champions, and attack down is probably the single most important skill that you need to find within your kind of arsenal, if you like. So decrease attack on the Clan Boss makes the Clan Boss hit weaker and therefore makes you last longer. So that's kind of number one skill in building a team comp. Make sure you've got somebody on your lineup with an attack down. The number two skill in this kind of early Clan Boss stage is to make sure that you've got somebody in your team that can deal damage. And the damage generally will come from poisons or HP burn. They will do more damage than a kind of champion that actually just hits hard. Hitting hard against the Clan Boss doesn't do nearly as much damage as poisoning the Clan Boss, and that poison kind of running through all of the turns. You've got firstly attack down, secondly get yourself some poison on the Clan Boss. Thirdly, at the early stages you kind of just want to be as quick as you can be, so champions that can boost your speed are really effective. And then from there you kind of start to get luxuries really. So from there in the early game, if you've got a counter attack champion, then they're probably as strong a champion as you can get for Clan Boss content. There's only 3 of them in the game at the moment, so if we look here on this kind of early stage Clan Boss, only one of these guys has got a counter attack, which is Apollos Lives, and he's got here Skull Crusher. Skull Crusher will be used right through to end game, and then there's 2 other counter attack champions that are in the game, which are both legendaries, Valkyrie and Martyr. So out of all these teams here fighting this normal and into hard, none of these have got, only one of them, sorry, has got a counter attack champion. And on this account, I don't have a counter-attack champion, so I'll show you how I build for that. You then go into other abilities, so start to get into more, I guess, more nice-to-haves at this level than must-haves. So decreased defense on the enemy Clan Boss will make you hit the Clan Boss harder, and weaken will do the same thing. Decreased defense is better than weaken for making you hit harder. It also will help you if you start to get your masteries up and you get to tier 6 masteries and get Giant Slayer or War Master, which are the 2, I'll just show you that quickly, the 2 most important masteries in the game for Clan Boss. Everybody in your team eventually should have these. I don't have them on any of my champions in this level, but it's what I'll be aspiring to. So someone who hits with a single A1 hit or a 2 hit A1 generally want to take War Master. What it does is it hits the Clan Boss for a kind of max HP hit. Giant Slayer does the same, but it's got a lower chance to hit, but it can hit for every single strike that you do. Therefore, if you've got someone who's got an A1 with a 3 hit or a 4 hit ability, then Giant Slayer is the one to pick. So you get to that early stage, and if you've got those 2 masteries, then most of your damage is coming from poisons, Giant Slayer, or War Master. Okay? So the nice to haves then become decreased defense, as I said. Increased defense, as in increase your defense, is a very nice ability because it again helps you last longer. And ally protection is another very nice ability because it will help you last longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run into this free-to-play account and show you why I've got some of these champions in the early game. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll into my main account and show you again why I've got some of those champions and the roles that they fill. So let's have a look here. So let's go back to my initial thing. I need an attack down champion. So my attack down champion in this context is Rearguard Sergeant. On array 2, she's got a 50% chance to lay the biggest attack down, and it lays it for 2 turns. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. This is not ideal. This is prone to me taking a lot of damage at times because it's not going to be up all the time. I could actually sub her out once I've got this guy trained up. Where is he? This guy's actually a better example early game of an attack down champion on his A1. So attacks one enemy. It's a 30% chance, but you can book this up to be 50, and you can also ascend him so that it's the bigger decrease attack. So this guy actually becomes the better version of the attack down champion once I've got him leveled up. For now, he's a bit too weak. So she stays in. I've then got my poisoner. So my person who's going to do my damage is Kale. Kale was a really good early game champion for doing damage, as he's got a poison on his A3, so potential to lay 4 poisons, but each of them's got a 50% chance when booked. And his A1 has also got a poison on it. So he's a good damage dealer for an early game. And then I've got Cold Heart is in there actually just for damage because of her critical hit, but she's not the best in Clan Boss. She's reasonable, but not the best. I've then got, kind of going down my list, I've then got somebody who's going to boost my speed, which is Apothecary. So he's got a speed boost, and basically fills turn meter and he gives you a speed boost. He's also got a heal, which is kind of nice for Clan Boss to keep you alive for longer. And then I've got a dedicated healer in this team who's Vrask. Every time Vrask hits, he's going to heal me. That's because I don't have a team set up to do kind of continuous healing. And there's other options that I've got in this team lineup which I could easily sub in. So I could take Vrask out, Cold Heart out, for example, and put in Katoon, who's another speed merchant. So I could actually put her as my lead and have a faster speed lead. But and actually I'm going to do that for this fight. So basically I'll get these abilities back quicker. It means that things like the attack down might come back in time to actually go on the boss again before it runs out on my champions. You've then got other abilities like the weaken, decrease defense. So actually Rearguard Sergeant's very good because she's got an array 1, a decreased defense. So I start to get into those nice to haves for an early game team. She's actually very good for an early game comp, definitely. So I've got the decreased defense. I don't have anyone in this lineup for weaken. I could bring in Aethel, who has got a weaken on array 1 and does a reasonable amount of damage. Again, I could bring her in this slot because this slot's actually fulfilling the same benefits, but actually I'd rather have the speed for this comp. And then there's things like ally protection, which again, Rearguard Sergeant actually brings a third of the nice to haves. So she brings ally protection and heals. So actually for an early game champion, Rearguard Sergeant is excellent. Brings a lot. Let's just see what Aurora is as well. So Aura's HP in all battles 33%. I think that's the same. No, it's better actually. Put her in the league. There we go. So you can see here that I've ticked a number of the kind of requirements for a composition in these champions here for early game. You pretty much have the same requirements when you get into late game, but you just get better champions that can do them more effectively. And then as we go, so you'll see here we basically got boost speed meter with my high Katoon, decrease attack with my Rearguard Sergeant. It goes on here, you see that? So basically the boss is now doing less damage. I could go speed again, but I don't need to because I've already got my speed boost on, so I'll leave that go. Get my poisons up as quickly as I can, so I've laid 3 poisons with that, which is nice. And then Vrask does his hit. And then pretty much what you would do is you're able to put this on auto, and you'll get a slightly better result if you do it manually. You'll get a reasonable, probably about another 10% damage, I'd say, if you did it on manual. But obviously you don't want to sit here for 20 minutes watching that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of speed this through and just get to the sort of end position of this fight to show you what sort of damage I did. But it's definitely a situation that if you've got all of these elements start to be covered, you will get further through the clan boss fight and you will do more damage. Something else that's worth considering is how do I build this champion setup? So basically what I am looking for on my team is the ability to last as long as possible and to hit things like the debuffs. So the way you gear for clan boss is very different to how you would gear for any other kind of area of the game. So I think what we'll do, I'll let this play through, I'll show you the end result, and then I'll go in to show you the kind of early game gear and how to build that. Here you see I've come in at 2.15 million. It's not a big hit. I knew it wouldn't be a big hit. But what I wanted to show you is, because I've got no masteries on these guys that do damage, so none of them have got Giant Slayer or War Master, so I've got no additional kind of procs coming from that. Pretty much all of my damage, what's that, 90 odd % of my damage is coming from Kale, and pretty much all of that damage is coming from poison. It shows you how strong poison is versus regular hits in the clan boss. I'll just quickly show you the type of gear that we've got on these champions. Now, ideally, early game to mid game, even sometimes into late game, you want all of your team to be wearing lifesteal set. And lifesteal set means that you just, every time you hit, you gain additional health back. If you've got War Master or Giant Slayer, every time you hit with War Master, gain lifesteal as if that was your normal hit, so you actually pretty much get yourself back to full health every turn. So it's really strong. But what you want to be looking for in your sets for clan boss, if you just use them for clan boss, you actually always want to go defensive on gloves, chest, and then speed on boots pretty much. So you want to have hit HP percentage here or defense percentage. Same for this here, HP or defense. So you see at the moment I've got it set for basically for arena, and that's not how you should set yourself up for clan boss. If I look at somebody else who was kind of clan boss, there again we've got crit rate there. That's not what we want. We want HP or defense, and then I've got HP here, which would be right. If I look at somebody like Cold Heart, sorry, I always call him Cold Heart, Apothecary, defense gloves, yeah, so I want to boost his defense so he lasts longer. HP chest, I want to boost his HP so he lasts longer. And then ideally, at this level, early level, you just want to be as fast as you can be. So it's expensive for me early level to roll these boots up to full speed, up to 16s, but I roll them up to at least 12s, and pretty much on everybody I just want to get them as fast as I can get them. So that's early game. As I say, there's a number of different factors that you want to be looking for, and I will do a video on champions from kind of early through to end game that help you in those different areas. I've already got one on the attack down position, but I will do videos on each of these different areas in detail. What I want to show you now is what that looks like on my main account. And so if you remember again, the sort of main things you want to be looking at are attack down, decrease defense, weaken, poison, the damage, increase defense and ally protection for your survivability, and then your ability to heal. Something else which tends to come in as you get further into the game is actually debuff extenders, and that will be seen at the kind of higher end game here. So what I'm going to do is talk through a couple of these team comps that are sitting in my clan. So all of these guys, we've got someone here who's 2-keyed, a Jackson 2-keyed, which is brilliant. It means it basically gets a chance to go and hit some of the other bosses. This is on Nightmare, and this is Ultra Nightmare. So again, we've got a lot of 3-key players here. I can actually 2-key on Ultra Nightmare if I got my proper team out, but one of them is on a arena stint at the moment, so I've subbed in somebody else. I'm just going to talk you through a few of these team comps and why they work. So let's just think about what we need. We need attack down. So we've got an attack down champion here. Because he's got Vizier, Vizier can actually just continuously extend that attack down so it never drops off. Vizier has also got attack down as a bit of a backup. So he's got the number 1 requirement. He's got poison in this champion here, Venus, which will give him his kind of extension, his damage in effect. Also some HP burn here. He has got counter attack in both of these champions, Valkyrie and Marta, which is kind of again one of the top 3 things that you need. And then he's got things like decreased defense on his Marta, which will hurt the boss more, weaken on his Venus, which again will hurt the boss more. And then he's got increased defense on his Marta, so he increases his own defense on his Marta, which keeps these guys alive longer. And he's got ally protection on his Luden and healing on his Luden. So actually on this team comp he's got all of the necessary skills to stay alive for a long time and kick out a lot of damage. When you get to this style of comp, instead of trying to go as fast as you can, like I just showed you on the earlier games, you're better off actually slowing down to the same speed as the clan boss and doing something called speed tuning, which you will see in my video where I go into my 40 million key hit on clan boss. So I'll kind of post a link to that in the description below. But speed tuning is really important, and it basically means that you're getting your guys to go the same speed as the clan boss so that you get the best benefit out of counter attacks. So check my other video for that. I'm not going into detail on that. It is quite detailed, but it will massively improve your damage. So let's just look at the next team. So we've got an attack down in Altan here. He's got it in his A1, which means it will go off all the time. Got counter attacks here in Valkyrie again, and also some shields out of Valkyrie, which is really strong. He's got decreased defense here in Grizzled Joel, and he's also got the ability to block stuns coming at him from the Grizzled Joel, which is another nice ability. And then in his Draco, he's got decreased defense, weaken, and all of the poisons. And there's a lot of poisons that come out of this guy. So again, good solid comp. Let's look at perhaps one more, and then I'll show you my team. So let's look at one with perhaps actually let's look at a Nightmare one, which might be a few more epics in there. It's a good team. So this is probably what I class as a typical mid game team that you want to aspire to be. So you've got a decreased attack on your A1 with Tyrell. You've got a decreased defense on his A2. So you actually cover off 2 of the kind of key things here. You've got somebody driving your speed and some healing in Apothecary. You've got your poisons and your increased defense coming from Steel Skull. You've got additional poisons and a HP burn coming from Juliana. So you pretty much got damage, decrease the boss's damage, healing, and then you've got counter attack and ally protection. So that's your additional hits and your ability to take less damage. So this team, for a mid-game team, will pretty much cover all of the requirements of clan boss, with the exception of weaken, which is the least. I guess the thing you need the least. It does the least effect to the damage you will output. And so with this, Kimball was able to get a 2 key on Nightmare pretty comfortably. He's way over the mark. So that's 6-7 million over the mark, and that's with 4 epics and a rare. So that's the type of mid-game team you want to aim for. And obviously, if you get any of these big legendaries in the mix, then even better. It kind of gives you an idea. Similar sort of setup here, but with, I guess, a slight advancement. But still, he's just under 2 key in it. Back down, counter attack, all your poisons, speed and healing. And then this guy is basically making you unkillable for turns and, dropping shields and stuff. So it's start to see that the compositions all try and do the same thing, and it's ticking off those different elements. If I take myself then into Ultra Nightmare on my main team, so I'll talk you through what I've got. So I've got my lead at the moment is Jareg. He has got an attack down on his A1. Really important to have it on the A1. He's got ally protection and increased defense on his A2. Got a passive which gives me a bit of healing. So I've ticked off 3 things there with him. I've then got Razin, who has got a decreased defense and weaken on his A2. That ticks off 2 of the requirements with 1 person here. I've got Bad L, who is in there for poisons and also gives me healing. So the poisons is where all my damage is going to come from. I've got a Skull Crusher, who is in there for counter attack, but he's also got ally protection as part of that same move. And then I've got a Vizier, who is basically in there to extend debuffs. And that debuff extension is really strong for me. I would rather swap out Jareg and put in my Ultan, but Ultan is currently an arena hero for me. That's not Ultan. The reason why I do that is because my Ultan just does more damage than Jared. He basically brings the same sort of level of utility, but he does more damage. But at the moment, because of the masteries I need to set on him for Arena, he has got different masteries than what I need in Clan Boss. But Ultan has got decreased attack again on his A1 and an increased defense on his A2. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this. I'll show you it early stage, and I'll just kind of show you where I get to. So basically I want my bad L to be the quickest because he also cleanses for me when the boss does a stun. So we put 2 poisons up and 2 heals up at the same time. The first wave I also get my decreased defense and weaken on the boss with Razin. I then get some debuff extension going on with Vizier. See those ticking up? Now it's 4 ticks instead of 2. And then I get my decreased attack go on with Jarek. Gold Crusher comes in right at the end of the Clan Boss's turn, so I've got him as my slowest champion, but over 190 speed. Clan Boss runs at 190, he's at about 191. Throws on counter attack, and then all of my team will get their counter attack this turn. They'll also get it next turn. See here, he's debuff extending all the time. The rest of my team are kind of landing their necessary skills, and I get more damage if I manual, but I can throw it on auto. And you'll see I just kind of rinse and repeat. On wave 2, I'll throw up Jareg's ally protection, so he kind of takes the damage off of Skull Crusher and puts the damage onto him. That way Skull Crusher doesn't take a needless amount of damage. And again, everyone gets the counter attack for the second time because I've got them speed tuned so that I don't overtake the Clan Boss. And again, you can see speed tuning in my other video. So I've got all of the necessary buffs and debuffs to give myself the best chance of being able to 2 or 3 key this level. Because I'm on an affinity boss, so this is a red force affinity at the moment, actually one of the things which Vizier also brings is block buffs. So you see there the top ability. So where the boss puts on the increased attack as one of his abilities, I can throw this on. See there, that block buff goes up. So it also puts a buff that I don't want on. If I'd done it as the last buff to put on, then actually it wouldn't have put this on as well. But what I'll do is I'll throw it on auto, we'll see it through to the end, and again I'll just kind of cut back in once the damage is done. So you can kind of look, see here, that cleansed off the stun right at the perfect time. So I never lose a hit. And you know, basically every hit you do is worth damage, and you know, you never want your poisons or your buffs to drop off when you've got somebody like a Vizier on your team. And really they shouldn't, but you always get these kind of amazing amount of ticks going on. But yeah, I'll let it run. I'll cut back in once we've got the finished article, and finish up the video after that. Alright, here we go. So I've come in at 26. I just basically autoed the full fight after I cut out there. So 26.6 million, which gives me a solid 3 key. As I say, if I put Ultan in this team, then he ups my damage by about another 7 million. So it's significantly different. And you can see here again, so it actually plays out similarly to how it played out in the very low levels. I've got my poison guy doing the lion's share of the damage. I've then got the guy who does more hits with his A1, which means more Giant Slayer procs, doing the next kind of chunk of damage. And then the other guy who's got a free hit A1 also doing a high amount of damage compared to Jared and Skull Crusher, who have only got War Master on their A1, so they hit less times and they proc their Giant Slayer stroke War Master less times. So you can see the importance of having people with multi-hit A1s, which kind of support your damage, but ultimately, you know, Jared and Skull Crusher are there as supports to enable Razin Bad L to really do the lion's share of the damage. So this is going to be part of a series. So far this is kind of the general overview of Clan Boss and the type of structure you need to build a team, right from early game through to end game. And then what I'm going to do is sort of separate out the different champions that do those different jobs best. I've already got one that kind of touches on attack or decrease attack, and then what I'm going to do is then start to focus on where do you get things like your poison damage, your heal damage, your heal abilities, speed, your decreased defense, etc. So I'll kind of pick them off, perhaps 1 or 2 at a time in the next set of videos. Any questions, obviously fire away. Come and grab me in my Discord if you want to kind of have a chat about your Clan Boss team. We've got a few people in there now that just are really knowledgeable and are helping people at all sort of stages of the game. But yeah, I've been Hell Hades. Thanks for watching my video. Speak soon.